comedy should make you go, what the fuck did you just say?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I like extreme comedy, but I also like just comedy.
It's a weird artistry. Like, I think like music, and you obviously would know this better than most because you've actually done both jobs, but music and comedy are very similar in a number of ways in terms of like everyone's kind of a dirtbag but kind of a decent person. You live on the road.
Well, you know what's funny? When I met a lot of comedians, is they'd love to be rock stars. And there's heaps of musicians who'd love to be funny because they're funny kind of people anyway, and they go, I'd love to do comedy. And so I've done both. Music's better. You know, making records, you get to watch this thing form and fall into a huge, you know, and you move people emotionally or physically or, you know. And
It's more primal, isn't it?
it's more primal.
Yeah.
If I make records and they're good records that I like, then I can keep listening to them for the rest of my life. I don't watch my comedy DVDs. I don't, you know, I don't sit back and go, oh, look, there's me doing comedy.
I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Some comedians do.
Yeah, I thought musicians were misfits. Then
No, you're a bunch of comedians.
I know. Then you meet
You're messed up human beings.
then you meet comedians and go, no wonder I ended up here having a mental breakdown and carrying on. And
It's a great culture though. Like it's like I'm really interested. Like heavy metal and comedy. I mean, what's better than those things?
I know.
Like nice work on life.
I know. That's why but it ended up, you know, it can kill you. It almost killed me.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, the whole, the mind-body connection is real. And I think that's like the big thing that people don't talk about. And it's still pretty new to be actually working out how the hell we're all talking about it. And people don't, I think it's hard for people to understand you're on a continuum. Even if the end point is a serious mental illness, we're all on a continuum. You know, happiness isn't the natural state.
No.
Like, not to be dark or, yeah.
Oh, no, well, not to be dark, though. Yeah. I've never done that. And,
You're a ray of sunshine.
yeah, totally. I don't actually believe in mental illness.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a continuum. Yeah.
Well, I just believe in it. I think it's a physical illness with mental symptoms.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're disconnected. No. Like your mind is your body.
They treat the body, don't they? And then go, your mind's sick. Well, no, you haven't seen the mind. So you're treating my body and telling me I've got a mental illness. No, I think I've got a mental symptom of a physical illness, which is manifesting in the psychological. So,
well, how did having like a really dark period affect the next chapter of your life, and did it make it better? Well, I know, yeah.
Yes and no, but not. See, as I told, I've got this therapist. He's great. He's he's proper. He's an ex.
He's a real MD.
Well, no, he's an ex gutter drunk.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's a great therapist.
But as I said to him, I said, see, the what bothered me was that if I was a heroin addict or a full-blown alcoholic, you know, and I'd lost my wife and my job and I was sleeping in a gutter and I didn't know how to get off the drugs and I came through and I got off the drugs or the booze and I got out of that dark hellhole and my God, I crawled through that nightmare. But I was never addicted to drugs. I was never an alcoholic. I was
recreational.
I was a workaholic. I just did it too long and didn't take breaks and then just ended up having like adrenal breakdown and a full exhaustive breakdown. So as I said to my therapist, see, people go, it's the best thing that's ever happened to you. I go, no, I can imagine if I was a heroin addict, it would be the greatest thing that happened to me. I got out of that hell. But I was having a great time. Right.
Your body just went, nah, buddy, you don't get to do this forever.
I was doing hundreds of gigs a year, had a hot South African girlfriend, I was making money, I'd go to see metal bands, sometimes do some drugs, get pissed. I just never, ever, ever stop, right?
What was the most amount of cocaine you ever did?
Oh, see, I just did it for too many years, but I didn't do it all the time. Yeah. So I was with this guy one day doing an interview, and he goes, you know when you've been awake for 3 days? And I went, no. No, I don't stay up for 3 days. Like one night on cocaine is enough for me. Like by midday, it's like, do I have to stay with me any longer? Like, no.
You did drugs recreationally, but did work in an addictive way.
That's exactly what I did. Because you can't do, I've never done a gig on drugs. Yeah. Music, comedy.
It's like people who say they get stoned before they go on stage. I'm like, you weak bitch. Like, you're never going to do a good set like that. You're not aware.
No, I never. Music and performing is enough for me. I don't.
Are you going to make a band?
Well, I've got a solo record coming out.
Oh, really? Cool. Tell me more.
Well,
a solo drum record? Or are you singing? Are you finally singing frontmanning?
No, I played guitar, bass, drums, sang. I was gonna finish at the end of 2013 and take a year off and get all that together, and then I had a breakdown instead, which is a pain in the ass.
So they're real inconvenient.
It does, yeah. It's the best thing that's ever happened to you, Steve. No, it's not.
I was having a great time. I'm an amazing comedian. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Having a great time. My girlfriend was hot. She was into metal. She was fucking. She never complained. She was great fun. She could go hard. Like
that is great. It's okay. You'll move on. What was the thing that made you write this show? Was there like a moment where you're like, oh,
well, this show.
like this particular show, which is about the gleefully outraged, right? That's a part of what this show is about. I'm seeing it tonight. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to say anything incisive about it.
I was talking about political correctness, which has been around for decades, but I was started to go mental about 2008. I started doing jokes about it, against it. And then just as I have a breakdown in 2013, it's like suddenly the floodgates opened. And next minute there's everyone just going, have you seen what's happening here? And I'm like, I told you this 5 years ago, and now I'm stuck on psych meds, wanting to hang myself. I'm like Venom, who created thrash metal, but never quite got, we were doing this. How come they're getting all the glory?
blowing up fire powder. Like Danny Lilker, who mentioned you actually when I saw him, he's like talking about Venom blowing up like gunpowder.
I went to a Venom Metallica show in Staten Island, New York, in like what was it? Would have been like 83 or whatever. But when Venom went on, there's the big intro, all dramatic, and then like when those bombs went off. Put it this way, there was an audio tape of that, and when that happens, it just like wipes out everything. You just hear normal like noise, and all of a sudden you're just...
I like you're likening yourself to Venom. No other comedian will liken themselves to Venom. Yeah. Did you see them?
I saw him once in Manchester. I think it was with Cronus.
Yeah.
Was it with Cronus? It's got to be Cronus is the best one.
Yeah, he's my favourite Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, totally. Cronus is the best. I love that guy. I love those records, those early Venom records, because they're just chaos. It's just like you're in the studio with him, but he's like, oh, come on, let's go, and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go.
The weird thing is about the world we live in, right? People are outraged about absolute horseshit and ignoring the most important stuff. Like all of this energy, there's only a finite reserve of anger and outrage. And it's like the Defense Department in America, they did an audit of their $800 billion budget with 120 accountants. And they came back and went, I don't know where the money is. That happened. Yeah. That was in one newspaper. I'm like, that right there is bigger than any tweet that happened 12 years ago by a massive margin. Like,
this is what this show's about. I just don't deal with all this, PC, feminism, LGBT, chaos that's just making everyone a minority group and bringing out the victimhood in everybody and giving them the flaming torch of vengeance and going, right, let's go and freak out. I'm like, I was a lefty my whole life without having a political allegiance. I was just like, I've hung around arty people and goths and gays and freaks and metalheads and fucking hippies my whole life, and just, yeah, I know these people, but now suddenly you let these fringe people in and stir them up, and they're all going, everyone should accept us, and just, you don't want acceptance, you want the whole mainstream to kowtow to you. Yeah. And like, just shut up.
It doesn't work like that.
If you want to be accepted by the mainstream, then you want to go in and join the mainstream?
Yeah.
Like why? Because you don't tell the mainstream to change. If you want to be accepted by them, go and hang with them. Yeah. And then you'll find that it's quite boring in there, and you'd be better off being a fringe person and staying out here.
Being a colourful person.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to wander into the RSL dressed as a vampire, then something's going to go down.
Yeah. And you used to just deal with that and be prepared.
Oh, you don't go there.
Yeah. I used to hang out with goths in high school, and two of my gay friends wore like a nurse's uniform and fishnets around the place, and we didn't try to have everyone like us.
I was a metalhead in the 80s wandering around Sydney. Well, don't go to Mount Druitt on Friday night with Motley Crue shirts and chains hanging off you.
It's like the drug thing.
Belfast, you go, can I go into that area? I'm a Protestant. I wouldn't if I was you.
They'll beat you up.
Yeah, you get beaten up. Well, you know what they are? They're Puritans without God.
Oh, it's exactly that. We're just talking to Chris about this. They're Bible burners. They're Bible burners? Bashers? Burning people? Bashing, Bible bashing, book burning.
Well,
maybe we should burn some Bibles too.
Well, they're Puritans without God, which means they don't even have the level of depth of sacredness. At least religious people have a depth of sacredness.
Satanists.
Oh my God. Like Jim Goad. You know Jim Goad? He's got like a great book called The New Church Ladies. which is
It's just, well, I watched a Cullen thing the other day and I was like, it was really good. Well, I mean, Cullen's fucking amazing, but I was like, oh my God, remember when the left had a sense of humor and just weren't worried about offending everyone and weren't like, you know, he was being really acerbic and interesting, but like there was just no fear. It was just punk rock. It was like, it was a Black Flag song in comedy form.
well, the left used to stand up for that, didn't they? They were the ones that used to sort of, oh no, who are the PMRC? What are they doing here? Why is Frank Zappa and Jello Biafra in court?
Anytime anybody is afraid to say or create what they believe, that in itself is censorship.
The establishment of a rating system, voluntary or otherwise, opens the door to an endless parade of moral quality control programs based on things certain Christians don't like.
But now it's gone the other way, and it seems to me that far-right conservative Christians are far less mental than this lot.
Yeah, but it's just like, and it's not even like fun mental. It's like the least fun ever. It's like, if we're going to be militant about it, can we at least wear cool outfits and play loud music? I just found out what right and left wing came from, first of all. Apparently, King Louis said, whoever's with me, get to the right. Everyone else, get on the left. See, that sounds like a fun side to be in, right? But now, I was thinking about it, right and left is like the worst sports game you've ever fucking watched because no one agrees what those words mean. It's like watching everyone playing a sport and no one is happy and everyone is mad and everyone is just, and it's just like, I don't want to hang out with those people, man.
Well, I'm just keeping this quite light because I'll get into the whole politics of everything.
Sorry.
It's really, no,
I can keep it light.
yeah, that's better because, that's why.
Sorry. Sorry, dude. I've ruined everything.
No, it's better to keep it light because I'll get into the whole. Yeah, there's more than just the boringness of these poor new church ladies. There's the whole crushing of free speech and the political agendas that go along with it, and the law that goes along with it, and it's very tyrannical and chaotic. And but we've got a show to go, and
There's a dark web of shit that we don't know about,
Well, the only thing to do is to. You're not going to get a political solution.
No.
So you just have to stop. Like one day, everyone should just go. Well, if you go to a pub and they go, well, we got to take your fingerprints to go in, then you should go, well, I'm not coming in. And everyone should not go in. Don't go in. If they go, well, we want to do this at the football and make sure that there's private security around looking at everybody, then you should go, well, we're not going to the football. And then, so you just don't comply. So if one day everyone decided, well, we're not going to work, they'd freak out. You got to go to work.
But that's exactly it. Right. Dave Brocky from fucking Goa said that.
How do we overthrow the government? Yeah. Everybody goes into the streets and they don't go to work. It's worked before. The freaking Indians in India, even though they don't call themselves that, they were led by this little bald fuck called Gandhi. And they fucking busted out many, many, many years of English colonial rule because they just said, fuck you. They didn't go to work. It was a nonviolent revolution. Now, I know you people are saying, odorous, what are you saying? Nonviolence? It's like violence is I'm best at that. But as far as humans are concerned, yeah, if you just don't go to work, nothing works, man.
Yeah, so you're making a music.
Oh, I've made the album.
Yeah. Where is it? What's it called?
It's called Eternum, which is named after a. What's the name?
Is it like that?
Sort of.
Can you do a sound effect that would describe the essence of the album?
No, it's not full black metal like Nazul.
So it's mine. Okay. I'm just guessing. It's one of those things.
Like murder,
Has it got comedy in it? No. You never put your comedy in your things, do you? Chocolate peanut butter.
I don't want to listen to Blink 182.
That's not funny. That's just sad.
Let's make funny music. No. Only Frank Zappa can make funny music.
That's a good point. Well, that's what he said, talking to musicians about, talking to people who make music about, writing about, yeah, no, I can't even say it. Yeah.
Because Frank Zappa music, as much as it's sort of funny, it's not funny.
It is a little bit funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's so intense that it's not funny.
You're not even laughing. You're just like,
yeah, this is unbelievable. Yeah. What's going on? Right?
What kind of, how do you want to, what's the ideal effect you can have on people with your performative works?
With comedy-wise, they laugh. That's the first thing. A comedian laugh.
Fair play, thanks.
a simple thing, depending on what kind of comedy you want to do. You know, you want to get them to think. I said, you like to get people to think? Well, you know, they're thinking anyway.
What are the three cornerstones of the bestest right now that you think of comedians? Yeah.
Who are the best comedians I like?
Yeah.
Well, the ones I like the best, probably Bill Burr.
Yes. Burr's the fucking, he's the top tier.
Oh, he's great because he's got everything. He's got a good voice. He's got good material. He's got a good point of view. You see the real person.
Yes.
He can do characters. He can do voices. Like Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks had it all. He had a good point of view. He could do characters. He had good jokes. He cross-pollinated. It was good. Jesselik I like because his jokes are so dark and structured and tight and beautifully written, and they smack you in the head.
They're like songs, hey.
Well, they just smack you. You don't know it's coming. It's coming.
He's technical death metal.
It goes bang. And
He's technical death metal.
yeah, it's great. So I like him a lot.
Okay, can you liken any other ones you like to a style of heavy metal? Then you can go.
Style of heavy metal. I don't know.
You need this brain for like it.
Well, I like Patrice O'Neill, but he's passed away. And
We kind of need to use all the technology to bring people back from the dead to do it for comedy. So like you can bring back Bill Hicks, Patrice, Richard, Carlin. Just that's what we should be pouring all of our effort into.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
Pryor.
Yeah. Amazing.
I loved
We
it.
don't. Yeah. What's your favorite bit? What's your favorite Pryor bit?
Yeah,
Okay, then you can go.
I have to say the N word on here because you know, me and my mate
Get
were doing it in
killed.
the dressing room last night.
We're gonna get killed.
We were doing last night. Is it all right to come up? It's all right. Yeah, so see right here. You can come up. Right. I don't know. I just love these fucking. Is this your piss? Thank you very much. So.
A magical man. The continuum of the continuum of comedy continues.
We'll see what goes on tonight. You're going to watch the show?
I am indeed.
Oh, yeah?
I might laugh.
You might laugh.
I expect to laugh.
See how much of a sensitive snowflake you are, baby.
I'm pretty sorry. I'm steel cut oats, bitch. That's what kind of breakfast cereal I am. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.